Well, guys, welcome to the people that are here. Let's go directly to the subject at hand, which is the introduction to After Effects. Now, today, and so you guys understand the expectations here, what's important right now is that you guys understand how that different app is similar and the difference that it has between Premiere and After Effects. So having said that, let's just move on to something that we know, which is your Premiere. And before we start with that, I want to show you a little two videos that I worked on, and these. Well, the first one is the promo that was done for Discovery, the movie the one for the Megalodon with Jason Statham. We had to do a promo for that movie for Discovery, so we worked with FIU here in Florida. We were going to go and film inside this underwater laboratory lab. And unfortunately, because of climate issues and stuff, we weren't able to do that. So we had to figure out a lot of this, how we can do it in post production. So I'm going to show you the video. By the way, first of all, let's try this out just to see. I'm going to put here some music. Can you hear this? Yes, perfect, awesome, great. So, hey, first time that I got it on the first time. So let's go ahead. I'm going to show you the promo, and then I'm going to show you a little bit of those effects that we did behind the scenes, and that was all done with After Effects. So let's take a look at this first.
We went off the coast of Florida searching for clues and the remains of a prehistoric beast. From our undersea research facility, you can see the environment where just a few million years ago roamed the largest, most powerful predator to ever live, Megalodon. When Meg teeth were first discovered, they were believed to be the petrified tongues of dragons, and you can see why. They could grow to about 18 meters and weigh 60 tons. That size, speed, and an impressive feeding apparatus put Meg at the very top of the food chain. Meg went extinct about 2.5 million years ago. But because only 5% of the world's oceans have been explored, every dive is still an adventure.
It's Megalodon.
Why don't you just put a tracker on it? Did you guys ever watch Shark Week?
So that is the promo that we worked on. This was a promo that we had to do for Discovery Worldwide. So this was presented or shown in I believe it was 27 different countries around the world, which was a big deal, and we actually won a couple of prizes with this, which was also something really awesome to do. I'm going to show you a little bit of what I was able to do with After Effects. So again, you understand a little bit of what After Effects can do for you, and we'll talk about what are the great features that you can use for that. So let me show you this other one. So that's it. Um, like you see, we did a lot of compositing using After Effects, especially to, obviously to put our main expert guy inside that underwater lab that we only had some footage to work on. Um, Again, this was edited in Premiere, James, and then this was sent to After Effects to work on it. Okay. Now let's talk about a little bit of how you do that. And again, this for this to work, you do need to have After Effects installed in your computer, and you need, let's call it, the same version as Premiere. Premiere or After Effects cannot be different versions, so you have to have updated each one so you can do what we're about to do. Now, this is a quick video that, to tell you the truth, this is something that I did today to, try it out, a couple of things that I wanted to show you in live class. So it is by far done or anything like that. It's just let's call it a draft, right? That I wanted to play around to see what we could play with inside After Effects. So let me show you this one right now, and you can see what are the techniques that we're going to look at in just a few minutes. Let me just put here fit. And
what should I cook today? With Holo Recipe, your next dish is just a gesture away. Step-by-step guidance, right where you need it. Cook together or solo. Every recipe adapts to you, so no more guesswork. Just great food. Download now and bring recipes to life.
so, like I said, this is very, very, very drafty. It's not well made at all. There are some issues with the rotoscoping that was done. You can see, for example, here that the images are going through the body of the guy. So it's poorly bad made. Not to mention that it's the same plate over and over again, right? They didn't had the time to put each one differently or nothing like that, but we can play with this right now in After Effects. So what is After Effects and what can we use it for? After Effects is basically the motion graphics and compositing app that Adobe has for their Creative Cloud. And the great thing about this is that it integrates really well with the other apps like Photoshop, even Illustrator, and in this case, Premiere Pro. So to answer James' question of how is it that, for example, that I could send this into After Effects, well, for that, again, you have to have After Effects. And let me just, I'm gonna duplicate this sequence. I'm just gonna right click on it and reveal sequence in here. Just bring it here to sequences, close this one, and let me just duplicate it and put the name that I should put. So let's call this one, what was this one? Holo Recipe. So HR main app 01. Okay, so I'm going to double click on the sequence, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to try to clean this out as much as possible. What do you mean about cleaning? If you look at this area, for example, you're going to see that I have a clip that I put on top of something else. If I disable V2, you're going to see that it's just a continuation of this video that I just left behind. I just put something on top of it so I could find where I wanted to do that cut.
Step by step.
Okay, so obviously this part is not part of the commercial. It's something that won't be seen, so I can get rid of. The same thing happens in this case. Here we have a piece of video, and then it cuts into this. So again, the first thing to do before doing anything is trying to clean as much as possible. Otherwise, we have some issues could appear inside After Effects. And for that, I'm actually going to duplicate the sequence one more time, and I'm going to leave one just as it is. And I'm going to make number 2, the version number 2, where I'm going to clean it. And clean it is just bringing everything to one track, or at most 2. And removing anything that I don't need. So I'm just bringing everything down, and I'm doing that by selecting it, pressing Alt or Option, and just clicking the arrow going down to bring it down. So I'm just going to do that there, and I'm going to do this here as well. Now, this is obviously it's just a reference, and this is something that we're going to talk about in future live classes when we talk about shortcuts and the process of having these things done and to work later on. And then we have this end card with logo that it's just as a reference of where it's going to be. Like I can get rid of that. I don't need that right now. So now that I have this, I'm going to select all of it. And before that, I'm just going to go and open After Effects, which in this case, I do have it open. So I'm just jumping into it. Okay. And in here, I'm going to create if I already have a project, but if I had to, I would create a new project, save it, and immediately I would create a folder here. Funny enough, here in After Effects, the folders are called folders, where Premiere are bins, right? So this one I'm going to call From Premiere. And I do this, just so I know that anything that I bring into this is going to come over there. And make sure that I'm going to save this, save, and I'm going to go to my Premiere project. Now over here, I can select all of the clips that I want to take into After Effects. Yeah, just give me 1 second. Then I need to get rid of these things that are appearing here. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to select all that I need to transfer to After Effects. I'm bringing also the audio because I want to know the timing if I need to work something out on After Effects. And you could do all of it, or you can do several pieces. I could select just the first clip and just send this, and then select this new clip and then send this and go over and over again. For me, it's easier for me just select all of it, right click on it, and I'm going to put this option where it says replace to After Effects composition. Now, the moment I do that, it's going to start doing its thing, and it's brought the project to this side. And as you can see inside that folder, since I had that folder created and it was selected by the moment that I did the transfer, everything, all the clips came inside of this bin. Now, this is my timeline, let's call it this way, the timeline, my composition inside Premiere. It looks way different than that in Premiere, inside After Effects, sorry. So let's explain a little bit about the interface before we start doing these effects, so you understand what is the difference, the main difference between this and Premiere. Okay, as you can see here, you do have an area which is the timeline, but immediately you can see that none of these you can make really that big that you can see the footage in them. They're just there, and it just gives you some names in here. You do have an area which is the project window, just like in Premiere, where you organize your footage and all of the assets that you bring in. You do have an effect controls area, just like Premiere, but it's going to be different. And I'll show you just 1 second. You have just one window which will be your source window. It's going to be your program window, and it's going to be also your layer and your your footage window. We'll talk about that in a second. And then we have certain kinds of windows that give you information, audio, a preview, effects and presets, just like in After Effects. Just like in Premiere. And you have other things that you're going to need for compositing and helping you out with text and animation. Okay, so we're going to look at that. Just like Premiere, you have different workspaces that you can look at to see which one works better for you. We got all panels, animation, color, default effects, essential graphics, etc., 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 and even one for tracking. For me, normally I'm with all panels or default. Since you can minimize them, collapse them and have them like this and just go to work with whatever you need. And obviously then you have here your timeline that you can open several of these compositions in here. Okay. Now, big difference between Premiere and After Effects. If I come over here, oh, by the way, yes, when I imported this, automatically all my clips were substituted, were replaced by this whole big clip of After Effects. Some people like to do this. What does this mean? It means that whenever I do something in After Effects, it will be, once you save it, it will automatically, and I'm going to do this with quotes, it will automatically appear in Premiere. So it's a live rendering of whatever you do in After Effects. The problem is that After Effects, the rendering takes a lot of time, so you can make your Premiere really, really slow. And I honestly never, ever used it. I tried it at the beginning. I've been trying it in every version to see if it gets better, but unfortunately, it's not. And I do know that people use it, and you are welcome to try it out and see if it works. But for me, this immediately that I cannot see the video again, you can see that it's all red. I need to automatically already render it to be able to see the playback again. So this for me does not work. So what I would do in this case is once I transfer to After Effects, I come back to Premiere and just put edit, undo. And this will get rid of my After Effects dynamic link, but it will leave After Effects just as it is. And then I will just export that video in MP4 or QuickTime Movie, whatever I needed, and just put it in here, just like I had it here with the, where was it? Just as I have it here, that I rendered it, I imported it, and just put it exactly where it's supposed to be. Okay, so you have that. I hope and I'm not being too fast here, but there's a lot of stuff to see. And again, this is more of an introduction to After Effects. So basically, again, you select the material, you put replace with After Effects composition. Make sure that you already had selected a folder in here to import that material. Okay, and once you do that, you come back to Premiere and you undo that clip if you want to. Now, one of the major changes, obviously, between After Effects and Premiere is that here we have everything in just one video track. We have one video track and we have two audio tracks that are occupied. But when we're here in After Effects, we have 16 different layers. Okay, so they're not video tracks; these are called layers. In After Effects, every single clip that you put on your timeline will have its own layer. And even if that video, you cut it in half, it will automatically appear in two different layers. So you cannot have two clips in one layer. That's the first thing. And that's why this starts to look really, really big. And you have to do some techniques to avoid having over 500 layers in just one composition. So we'll talk about that in 1 second. Obviously, it's not a sequence. This is called a composition. The other major thing is that if you want to change the position or the scale of a video, you would have to select it, go to my effect controls, and now I have my special features here on my clip. We have position, scale, rotation, anchor point, and all of these things here, and opacity. Well, in After Effects, it's actually way faster to do this. And even though we do have an effect controls, we do not have any of those features there. If I select any of these clips, none of them will appear here because there are no effects connected to these clips. So how do I put position, scale, rotation, all of that? Well, I do it by clicking on this triangle, and now I have those features in here. You have transform, which gives you anchor point, position, scale, rotation, and opacity, and you have your audio if you want to move the audio levels and all of that. Okay, so this is the way that it works. If you want to move things around, you do it inside your composition area, your timeline area, and you don't have to be moving to different windows to be able to do different things. So this actually makes the job a lot faster. And just for you guys to know, there are keyboard shortcuts for these guys over here. Anchor point would be A. So if I press A, it will appear A. Scale would be S. Position will be P. Opacity will be T. And rotation will be R. So these are the main things that you would look for to have in here. And there you can start rotating stuff. Of course, if I select the right one, let's go with this one, which is this first one, which is here. And I know it because I see the clip right here on top. And if I put scale, I can scale it up or scale it down. And in fact, all my keyframes will appear inside my timeline versus here on Premiere, where all the keyframes would be inside here, effect controls. So that is a major difference that you need to understand to be able to play with this and do not feel overwhelmed. Now, if you look at this here, because we have more clips than what we have here, and that is because these guys over here, you can see that there is no eyeball in this side. It only has audio. These are the audio files right here that they all have their own special layer inside After Effects, and they are treated just like any other clip, if it's video or not. So I can select all of these guys. I can drag them down, so they are here at the bottom. Okay, again, these are all the audio, and even I can select all of them. And well, actually, I can click over here in this lock, so I'm not going to touch them, so they don't get modified or erased. Well, actually, I'm going to do this. I am going to do it to this, which is the music. I'm just going to bring the audio, and I can bring the audio level down because it doesn't. The modifications that I did in Premiere didn't come over here, so I have to bring the volume down here on the music. So otherwise, it's going to be too loud. So I'm just bringing this to -18. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to lock this so it cannot be moved. And if I wanted to, I could come over here and I can click on this little guy over here, which is the shy button. I can click and drag and basically activate all of them that I want. So again, another quick thing that you can do even with the locks. Instead of having to click each one, you can click on one and just click and drag, and everything that it's in its path will be activated. So now these guys are locked, and I put this little shy button here. So what is that shy button? If I come over here to this big shy button over here, and I click on it, I can hide any amount of layers that I want. So now my timeline is starting to look a little bit cleaner, and I can focus on the stuff that I really want, which is here. Okay, so this here, right? If I want to come back, I just click on it, and it will come back. And if at any time I want to get rid of any of these things, I just have to click on the shy button, and it disappears. And if I want it to come back, I just click on here to bring everything back and just unshy that layer. Okay, so this is what we have at this point. Okay, so what are we going to do with this? We're going to do a couple of things that you can try to do to get some cool effects inside After Effects. Up to now, I hope that you guys have understand. Up to this point, are there any questions? Do you guys understand this over here? So we can move on to doing some cool effects that you guys can do later on. Waiting for answers. I think I have the general idea. Awesome, perfect. Okay. So let's talk about that. I'm going to come over here. Now, if, for example, here I'm in the effect controls, if I need to go back to my project, I just have to click here on these two arrows and just go to my project, and I'm here. Okay. Now, as you've seen here, this is what came from Premiere. Now, the interesting thing is that I have here, this is my video, right? And this is my video as well. And for some reason, here it is. So I have my video here. I don't know if you can see it here. Now, these come with the original name, but this same name, you can see it on this one over here that has a different icon. And I'm trying to see if I can make this a little bit bigger, but I think I cannot. So I'm terribly sorry. You can zoom in if you click on the image, and you can zoom in to any part of the image if you need to. Okay, so this over here, this little icon here that is the film with the shapes in it is what we call here a sequence. These are compositions. Okay? And one of the powerful things about After Effects is that it's very good at working from within a composition that you can put inside another composition, inside another composition. So we can put different compositions to be able to affect different areas of our timeline differently. And I'll give you some of the examples here. That is exactly how it was brought in to our timeline. If you can see, you have is compositions, one composition, two compositions. This one is a video right here, and then we have other ones here. Now, After Effects brought this in descending order. Normally, I sometimes like to work in an ascending order, so I know the order. But either way, just so you know that you can change the order depending on that a layer is not blocking another layer on the top. And that's one of the reasons why I did this like this. So it's clean. Each clip ends in one place and follows the other one. Now, as you can see, this clip, there's another thing important here is that this clip over here, it's highlighted up to this point, where is the cut to the next one, but there is more to it. It keeps going a little bit more onto this point. This is telling us that this clip, or in this case, this composition, has more material if I click and drag on it, and I can see more of it here. I'm gonna press undo there. So basically, you will always be able to see the whole clip, even if it's like a little bit grayed out of each one of the clips that you have there. Okay, this one you have that little marker on the corner that is the beginning, and then you have this one that can keep going on all the way over there. Okay, so let's learn some effects before you guys get bored of all this. So let's bring this over here. We're gonna do the quickest, easiest thing you guys can do, which is the roto brush, right? The masking. That is one of those effects that everybody wants to know, to be able to put text behind objects and all of that. So let's do this here. This, I brought it. This is not from the project that we just brought in, but it's to show you the different levels of roto brushing until you get to a little more advanced. This is the easiest you're going to find. You're going to find a subject that is very good separated from the background. I mean, you have a ball that is orange, and you have the sky that is blue. So it's going to be really easy to be able to do a separation on this. For this, I already put this name here, BG, which means background. The way that I do that, I just select it, and if I press enter, it gives me the opportunity to change the name. Now I'm going to do that. I'm going to press Command D on a Mac. It would be Control D on a PC to duplicate it. And I'm going to press enter again so I can give it a different name. In this case, I'm going to call it basketball. It is really important that you name your layers. Otherwise, when you start giving 100 of them, it's going to be really hard to be able to finding the right one. And you can also change the colors on the clips, on the layers, so you can differentiate between what an animation is, what footage is, or any other stuff that you want. So we have this here. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to have this here, and I'm going to come over here to my tools over here. You can see they're very similar to the ones you find in Premiere. There are other ones that we're going to look at in just a minute, but in here I'm going to grab the text tool, and I'm going to write here, let's call it here Introduction to After Effects. And we don't see anything because right now the layer is below the basketball. This is very important. It's not like Premiere that it goes automatically to the top. It's going to go to the top of whatever layer you're selecting. So I'm going to click and I'm going to drag it and put it on top of everything else for now, so we can see this. And I can just do this, select it all. And now here on my right, I can come over here to character or to properties, and I can modify this information. We also have paragraph, where I can put this on the center. Right now it's center text. And here in my character, I can change my character. I'm going to leave it at Montserrat right now in black, but you have those options, and you can scale it down to a different size, something like this, and you can work on separating it from each line or from the text itself. So all of these things can be used. And in fact, a lot of these things can be animated, so you can create some really cool animations with it. So I'm going to leave it around there. I'm going to bring and grab my selection tool, which is V, so I can press V on my keyboard as well. And I'm going to click and drag it more or less where I want it. So right around here, it's going to be where I'm going to put it. And now I am going to put it in between the basketball and the background. Why? Because I want the basketball to be on top of that text. So I'm going to grab this, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and grab here this tool that's called Roto Brush. There are two different ones. The one that I want right now is Roto Brush. Now, nothing happens. I can't do anything, and if I try to click it, it's just moving. So why is it that I can't see it? Well, the Roto Brush is one of those tools that need to be applied to the layer inside the layer window, not the composition. So how do I do that? I'm just going to double click on the basketball, and it automatically takes me to that layer. You can see it here in the tab. We have one that says layer basketball. There's another one that says footage, and there's another one that says composition. Okay, so composition and layer are two different ones. So now I am here. Now, the other thing that I've done here also with this basketball is that this over here that I'm grabbing, this is my, this is called the work area. So this is what, right now, if I render, and you can see that there's a green line that says that it's render, and I can play it without hesitation, is the area that it's being modified or it's going to be worked out. I could open this more if I want to work more on this, but I only want the roto brush to work up to, let's say, this point. So I'm going to bring this work area, I'm going to bring it all the way up to here. Now the keyboard shortcut for this is N, as in end. So if I have it over here, I can press N, and it will going to close over there. Now I can do the same thing with the clip. I can just bring it all the way to this point, so I don't have to worry about doing more roto brush that I need to. I just need this part here because my text is in this area. So I'm going to look for what I call the hero shot. It's one place where the ball looks perfectly and it's in full view. In this case, it's very easy. All of it is really easy. And with the brush, now I have this tool. This is my brush here. Now there is brushes, which is here. If you can't see it, you can always go here to window and look for brushes. And it will, right now I took it off, but here I'm going to go again and put brushes. And now it appears here. And you can choose different diameters if you want different shapes. Basically, you can use the same brushes that you use in Photoshop. You can import them and bring them here. In this case, I'm just going to stay simple and use the typical that we find in Photoshop. And I'm just going to click and drag and start painting around that ball. Okay, I'm going to try that again. Press undo. And let's do that again. And now it's selected my area. And I'm going to zoom in with my scroll wheel in my laptop, in my mouse. I would recommend enormously to have a 3-button mouse on this. And I'm going to try to be as perfect on this as possible. And that is important because otherwise it's going to calculate bad. So I'm going to take my time to make this as perfect as possible. If I need to erase something, I can press Alt or Option on a Mac to remove an area that I just didn't want to select. So something like that. And let's say I'm happy with that. Okay. Now, once I did this, you can see that in here on this part, I see a little marker that says this is where that painting was done. And from this point on, I'm going to move my playhead. I can move it to either side, and it's going to start rendering, creating that animation. What I'm just going to do is just move my playhead to several frames to see that in fact is actually doing a good job on selecting the ball. And it's going to do it because it's a very easy thing to do. So this is good. That's awesome. We'll do a little bit more here. That looks good. Perfect. So if I'm happy with this, which I am, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze this animation. If you do not freeze it, every time that you play this, After Effects is going to re-render, recalculate all of the things. So by pressing this button over here that says freeze, it's going to automatically freeze those moments in there. Now, again, this is a very simple animation, a very simple rotoscoping that needs to do. So it has no problem. Now here's starting to, as you can see there, it's starting to grab some of the hoop. I don't care because again, my text is not there. So it doesn't matter that it's grabbing a little bit of that or not. So already I have this here, but why can't I see the text? Well, remember, we are not on the composition. We are on the layer window. So we need to go to the composition. If I click here, now we can see the text with the basketball. So if I press play, and as simple as that, we have our basketball. So now obviously I want this to be a little bit longer, so I'm just going to bring my work area again to somewhere around here, and I'm just going to press for the people that have um, the big keyboards, it's going to be 0 on the calculator. 0 on the calculator is going to be for rendering. I know it's weird, but that's how you press play. And actually, to move frame by frame on Premiere is the left and right arrow. This does not work like this. In on the big keyboard would be page up and page down on the big keyboard. Now on the keyboards like a laptop, let me remember because I forgot completely. So this would be no, that's not it. That's not either. And nope. Uh-huh. So it would be function for a Mac. I don't know for a PC. You're gonna have to look for it. For a Mac would be function and arrows up and down to move frame by frame. And to start rendering, I think is function. No, it's control R. No, command enter. No. Okay, I need to figure out how it is. But yeah, if not, you can always come here to composition and put preview and start play current video or do this. Or you can come here to in preview and just press play over here, and you're golden. You're there to do the same thing as I'm doing right here. Okay. So that's how you play and how you do this here. Now let's go with a little bit more complicated, since I'm seeing that our time is leaving really fast. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna do this one. There is static movement, so I'm not gonna touch that one right now. I'm gonna go with this one, which has a lot of movement, and we have this logo that we need to get rid of. Let's go because we don't want to see the Apple logo on our commercial because we don't have the license for it. So we're going to work with this guy here. Now, the first thing that I would do, since this is a clip that is inside my main timeline, is I'm going to pre-compose. I'm going to bring this into its own composition. And to do that, I select it. I'm going to right-click on it, and I can put pre-compose. That automatically is going to tell me, do you want to leave all attributes here or you want to move all attributes into the new composition? I'm just going to leave them there. If there's a scale or an effect that has been placed on Premiere, I'm just going to leave it there. So I'm going to press OK. And now it's going to create my composition, which you can see it here. Now it changed the logo. Even though the color doesn't change, this icon has changed. And if I double click on it, now I'm inside. Well, no, I'm not inside. I'm going to right click on it. Sometimes that happens. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to open and put open layer source. And it's going to take me to that new composition. You can see it here. So this is, and in fact, let me change those things. So I'm going to right click, reveal composition in project. I'm going to change this and call this HR main app 01. and I'm going to throw this here into my, actually, this one would be an easier one. I think it's, let me put 06, because I've done this a couple of times already. So let's just bring this one here so I don't make the mistake of having two that are the same. No, we're good. Okay, so this one is good. And I'm going to change this one. I'm going to press enter, and I'm going to change this to man on a laptop. And now I can double click on this, and now I'm in here. Or no, actually not. Now I'm in here. Okay, perfect. So the first thing I'm going to do is, and a way that you can quickly go to your previous, to the main sequence or main composition where this composition lives is by pressing tab when my mouse is here on the timeline. If I press tab, it gives me a flow chart that tells me where this composition is inserted. And in this case, it's in the HR main app 6. So I can click on it and it takes me to that place. Why do I do that? Because I want to put my playhead at the end of this clip, because I want to know where this clip ends. I don't want to do more than I should. Okay? So I'm going to double click on this and I'm going to bring it here. Double click, no. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to put open and open layer source. And the playhead is exactly where I need to, where the cut is. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this. I can come over here to layer, markers, and add marker. So it creates a marker. I know that this is the end of that. And I'm just going to give it, 5 frames. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I'm going to close my workspace by pressing N. Okay. And I'm going to make this, I'm going to bring this all the way to this point. Now the shortcut to reduce or to trim that clip would be to press Command right bracket. Sorry, Alt or Option right bracket. And boom, you're there. So now we have this little piece here that is this long. Okay, so again, I'm going to need a couple things. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this, this layer. Why? Because I need the background. It's going to be the background. And then I need the foreground. It's going to be this guy. So I'm going to do duplicate by pressing Command D, or you can right click and actually edit and duplicate right here. And this bottom one, I'm going to press enter. I'm going to put background, BG. And the one on the top, I'm going to press enter. I'm going to call this one user. Doesn't really matter. Oh, laptop, whatever you want to call it. So I have these two guys here. So the first thing I need to do is I'm going to have to track this. Okay, so we're going to learn how to track here in After Effects. Again, a great thing that you're going to be able to use a lot to be able to get rid of this, because believe me, we don't want to do this manually. So for that, I need to track it. How are we going to do that? I'm going to do a couple of things here. So, keep with me. I'm going to go here to layer and I'm going to put a new layer. This new layer, I'm going to call it null object. And it's going to come over here and I got this little red layer over here. And let me just, for purposes here, Alt right bracket, and I'm just going to close it. Just trim it to this position. And this null object is like an adjustment layer. It is transparent. It cannot be seen. It will not render on your video, but it has some really good uses. It does not affect anything that is in the bottom. But again, you'll see how we're going to use this. And I'm going to call this one, I'm going to press enter, I'm going to call this one tracking laptop info. You can call it whatever you want. But here is where I'm going to store all my tracking data. Okay, so I'm going to go here to my background. This is where I'm going to do my, my tracking. And I'm going to right click and choose track and stabilize. And I'm going to go to track motion. Once I do that, again, it's taking me to the layer window. You do tracking on the layer window. Now, to do the tracking, you have this panel that's going to help me do the tracking. And by default, it gives you one tracking point. Now I'm going to select V on my keyboard to get my selector. And I'm going to grab this square over here. I'm just going to click and drag it over here to the top of this, the apple. Now, Quick, so you guys know this outer box, I'm gonna open it a little bit, and I'm going to open this inner box a little bit as well. The inner box tells After Effects. Sorry, been doing Premiere for a long time. Tells After Effects what the area is that it needs to look for. So you want an area that it has a lot of contrast. Here is it's very particular. You can understand here that there's white pixels that have this shape, and you have this that you won't find anywhere else. Okay, so the inner box tells After Effects what are the pixels to look for. The outer box tells it in the next frame where to look for that for those pixels. Okay, the wider the movement, the bigger this box needs to be, because if we move, in fact, let me just move. I'm going to move my playhead to the beginning. Let's follow it from here, and I'm going to do the same thing of putting this guy over here. Perfect. So if I move one frame, you can see that the it's still within this area, so I'm good. But if it was something that is really, really fast, then you need to make that outer box bigger. So now that I have this point here, you know what? I need to know also a little bit about that rotation that is happening, right? If you look at the image, there's a little bit of movement, there's some rotation going on. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to choose rotation. And you know what? I'm going to use also scale. So I'm selecting all of them, and automatically I get another point. So I'm going to bring this point over here, and I'm going to use something else within the same area. I cannot use something that is here or this, because they are in different planes. You know that it's farther, and the movement's going to be slightly different. So you want something that's going to be around the same area. It could be one of these corners, but I have this over here that is really good. So I'm just going to select this area over here, and I'm just going to broaden this a little bit, and making sure that I have a good take on the pixels. Again, it doesn't matter that I make this bigger and it's touching other parts of the area. It doesn't matter. This is just telling After Effects where to look for these guys. So within this area. So now that I have this, the other thing that I'm going to go is here on Edit Target. I'm going to select Edit Target, and I'm going to choose my null object, which is called Tracking Laptop Info, as my tracking layer, my target. So I'm going to press OK. And now I'm going to press play. Now I'm going to play forward because I'm grabbing the first frame of that tracking. You're going to choose the tracking wherever you need it. What is the best place for you? And if so, you would need to do analyze forward and analyze backwards. For now, I only need forward. So now I'm going to do that, and automatically it's doing quickly its thing. And we are there. Perfect. So that looks really good. I think it's good. So now the last thing I'm going to do is going to press apply. That apply, and let's see here the tracking for a second, which right now it has absolutely nothing. I'm going to press apply, and automatically it's going to ask me this window here. What are the dimensions? X and Y, only X or only Y? In this case, X and Y, because there's rotation and movement up and down. And now automatically this has been filled with a lot of keyframes. And if you look at this little red square there that represents our null, it is moving fairly like the rest of the stuff, which is great. Awesome. Good. So now we have that. That is perfect. Let's go ahead and patch this. Now, to patch this, the most logical thing is to use part of this laptop that is here to put it in here. So that is exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to look for a place in the center that looks good. I can click and unselect my null object. Okay, so something like this looks good. I'm going to grab my user, and I'm going to duplicate it. Again, Command D or Control D on a PC. And now I have this user here. Now this one, I'm going to change the name and call this one Patch. And I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to go to time, and I'm going to tell him to freeze frame. Now, this is exactly like in Premiere that you put a freeze frame, and now nothing is happening because the time has frozen on that video. Why? Because I just want a selection of this that's going to be moving with everything else. So this is perfect. This is what I wanted. Good. So now that I have that, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to select the area that is going to be my patch. For that, I need to do masking. Now, you guys do in Premiere, you do masking by going to Effect Controls and choosing opacity and doing the mask. In this case, you just need the pen tool, which is here in this tools over here. I'm going to choose the pen tool, and this is an interesting thing. If you look at my pen right now, it has a square with a little circle in it. Okay, that is because I am selecting a clip. And right now, it is the pen tool for creating masks. If I don't have anything selected, if I don't have any of the clips selected, and I move over here, now that symbol changes from a square to a star. This means that the pen tool is now for creating vector shapes. So if I do this, it's going to create one shape. And it's going to create a new layer for that shape. Okay, but this is not what I want to do. So I'm going to erase this. I'm going to go to my patch, which is the one that I want to mask. And I'm going to do a mask. I'm going to select a big portion here of this from here to here, something like this, that I know it's going to cover that. So now that I did that, I'm going to press P for position. And this way I can move things around here, and I'm going to move that patch to block that square, that apple. I'm going to click on the empty space so I don't see the mask anymore. And you can see that, you know, it doesn't look right. So we do need to work with this, and this is where composition comes in. There are two things that are bad. First of all, the margins, the borders, they are prominent. So I'm going to work on that. I'm going to come over here to patch. I'm going to close, I'm going to open it again, and now I have the option for masks because I created a mask. And I can create several masks here very easily, and each mask has other features as well. In this case, I'm going to use the mask feather. Now, keyboard shortcut is F, and it will give you mask feather. So I'm going to start creating some feathering, and as you can see, I'm starting to see that apple, so I can make this mask bigger. So let's do a little bit bigger. And I'm just going to click here, and now it just looked like a little darken on that area. We can fix that too. And we're going to do that by selecting the patch. I'm going to go to Effects and Presets, and I'm going to look for Lumetri. Here's Lumetri Color, which I'm going to bring and put it here to the patch. Now, for the first time, since we put an effect from this side to this side, we have some effects that we have here that we can activate or deactivate here. And Lumetri, you're familiar with this on Premiere for the people who have had Premiere and use this. Now I'm going to bring the exposure a little bit up to try to get that to look the same. I'm going to click here on the empty space so we look at that. Maybe that's a little too bright. I'm going to bring this to exposure to 0.2. Let's see that, and that's perfect. Awesome. So we're almost there. Hopefully you guys are following along. Now I'm going to close this so we don't make mistakes here, and I'm going to close this as well. So right now we have a patch that is in a specific place, and I'm going to put here, let me put a marker just in case so you know that this is here. I'm going to put layer and add marker. So right here, keyboard shortcut for Mac, I don't know, for PC is Control 8. And now we have that here. So I know that it is there, and look, the problem is that obviously everything is moving and my patch is not moving with it. So what I need to do now is I'm going to grab my patch, and I'm going to grab this pig whip right here where it says parent and link. Now, if you don't see this, it's because one of these buttons is deactivated, and you just have to find the one that is the one that's going to bring that to you. If you still don't see it, you right click over here and you can choose the columns that you want to appear. And in this case, you want parent and link, not track mat, but parent and link. So I have parent and link. I'm going to grab the pig whip from the patch, and I'm going to say that I want to link it to my track info. Once I do that, it says here, number one, this layer is being using the information from track one, from this point where it is where I created. And now if I move this, that patch is following the same movement as the tracking. So if I look over here, would fit. Now we have this, and it's perfect. Now, the same way as I put the patch, I could put a logo here in the back. It's just exactly the same thing. The difference is that I would bring in a logo. Let's see if I have a logo here that I can use quickly. For example, do I have a logo here? Forge Fit logo. Let's see if it works. I'm going to scale it down. So again, I'm pressing S to scale it down. I'm going to put it right around the place where I want it. So like this, maybe a little bit smaller. Let's make it 2%, the 2, and make it that it works there. And now I can tell this, I can link this to my tracking info as well. I can have all these layers linked to my tracking info, and that is going to make it this way. Now it's not perfect. It's not really perfect. You can see some hesitation there. There's some movement that it's not anchored really there. So those are things that you need to work on to make it look better. Maybe instead of using this point as your tracking information, you use the top of the apple and the bottom of the apple. So have that rotation being exactly what the logo is, so you can put that logo there. So let's. It's 7:05. Let's try to. It's so much information. It's so much that we're over there. Let's quickly try to track this guy, to create a roto brush to put something here in the back, just like in the commercial. For that, again, I'm going to use my my user, and I'm going to double click on the user, so it goes to the layer, and now I'm going to grab my roto brush. I'm going to make it a little bigger, and the way to make it bigger, instead of using the brushes, I'm using Command and click and drag, Command and click and drag, and I can make this. For PC is Control and click and drag. So I'm going to have this, and I'm going to choose his head there. I'm going to grab a little bit of this here, and making sure that I have all of this here. So something like that. And now we have our first selection. It's not perfect. We need to work a little bit on that. So I'm just going to make my brush a little bit shorter, smaller, and I'm just going to select more of that area that I want. Again, I want to be as precise as possible, because this is where we have issues later on if we don't grab all of it as we want it. And you have to be careful, because this is starting to look very similar, the color on these edges, to the rest of it, and these things happen. So you have to just select the areas, and when it selects stuff that you shouldn't, like this, you press Alt or Option on your Mac and just select those areas and remove them. Again, you want to be as thorough as possible here. So that looks good. Let's leave it like that. And again, I chose a moment in the middle. I should have chosen, maybe look around and see a moment that maybe that arm is moving on like that, but we started here. So let's live by the sword here and use this exact moment. I'm grabbing the hair as much as I can as well. And I'm getting rid of this coffee maker here in the back. And you can see this line is not at all perfect. It's giving me a lot of jittery and stuff. So there's going to be an issue with this. So yeah, and then we don't want this. So let's get that out of the way. Awesome. And the last thing we want is the table. The table to be chosen as well. Perfect. I don't care about this part, because in theory, we're going to show something in this side. So this is what really matters. I'm not even going to pay attention to this, because this is transparent. We could try to do this. So let's grab this and make it even harder for us in these few minutes that we have left. And let me just grab this spoon there and get rid of everything else that is around it. Now I'm going to do something here, because we're going to have problem with the hair for sure. You're gonna have a problem with the hair. And I can show you that. Let me just go here to composition on this same place. I'm gonna leave that there. And let's bring in what I wanted to put over here, which was one of the mobile screens. This is some of the images that I had here from an app. I can grab, let's grab ingredients. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to bring it here to my composition, and I'm going to put it here between user and background. So I'm selecting background, pressing paste, and that appears there. And now I can move it over here. Now you can see here immediately how this is not looking good. So we need to work on that. This is looking like it's eaten by a cow, and the same thing happens here. So let's try to fix that a little bit. For that, I'm going to go to back to my layer, so layer user here. And I need to, first of all, select more of this. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of that. And now I need to fix the edges of this. So how am I going to do that? How am I going to make it better? I'm going to use the other tool that is here, the other brush that is here. This one right here. I'm going to select it. I'm going to choose Refine Edge Tool. Now this one, I'm going to make it a little bigger. I'm going to go around the edge that I want, that is irregular, that I want some sort of transparency. So I'm going to do that. And it creates this sort of weird X-ray kind of situation. Well, right now, it's, as you can see here, it's showing more of the hair. Anything that is white, it's going to be opaque. Everything that is black is going to be transparent, and everything gray is going to be, translucent. You're going to see through it. So you have an idea of what is it that is going to be there. And we can do the same thing. I'm going to do the same thing, just make it a little smaller. I'm going to do the same thing here with the edge of the sweater, because like I said, it's giving me a lot of issues there. So I'm just going to grab that a little bit and do that. Now you see you can see here that we're going to have starting problems because it's selecting some areas that it has nothing to do with the sweater. So I'm going to try to, again, the same thing as I did before. I'm going to press Alt and reduce those areas by a lot, so I don't have that issue. So that I'm going to press undo on that one, and just trying to get a little bit of it out, so I don't have issues. And this is this doorknob that is the cabinet knob that is giving me issues there. So that looks good, and I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to make this bigger, and I'm just going to do this here because this is supposed to be transparent. So hopefully we have some good options there. Let me just do this as well, a little bit more there. Awesome. So now that we have that, we have this here. And here in Effect Control User, we have other options as well. Here it tells the version of the pen tool, the tool we're going to use. In this case, I'm going to bring and reduce the chatter. Let's bring it to 30. That could be a good thing to start with. And feathering, let's make it 10. Let's see how that works. And shift edge, I'm going to put it to -1. Now these are numbers that I've been practicing with. Let's see if it works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This is a lot of trial and error as well. So let's see. So now I'm just going to select a few areas and to see if it's working perfectly or not. I'm just moving my playhead and it's doing its calculation to those specific moments. And it looks good. It looks good. Do we have anything that is happening here? We have that hand that is going away here. Now, see how this is looking pink? That I do not like, because that's going to look transparent. So that is things that you have to take into consideration. And when that happens, maybe we change the tool to Roto. I'm going to make it smaller and try to grab this areas more so that it knows that it's my area. It's solid area and not that. Okay, so something like that. And again, I'm adding a new point in a different place. And from that point forward, it's going to recalculate with those little points. So you want to try to give the least amount of points possible. Okay, just be careful with that. Here I'm trying to get rid of some of that stuff. I want to bring that little layer of sweater back in. So this looks good. Let's say I'm going to leave it like that because we don't have any more time. So I'm going to put freeze. Let's see. Again, this takes time. So, guys, remember, you have to do this. You have to be. You have to take consider the time that you're going to use on this, especially if with your client, like if they want motion graphics, if they want effects like this, then plan accordingly to what amount of time you need for that. So now we have this, which is perfect. I'm going to go back to my composition, and this looks rather good. Let's see. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully, let's just put fit. I'm going to press play, and immediately I can tell you that no, there are some things that I don't like at all. Yeah, no. Yeah, we need to work on this a lot. And I know it because I see a lot of chatter and stuff. And we made the mistake of creating uh, that paint after our point. So we have to do it exactly in the same point. Otherwise, you have that change. You can see there that it goes from here to this, which is weird already. See? So you have to be careful with that. And this is not working nicely. So we have to bring the chatter up by a lot. This could help a lot. But also, playing with the feathering and stuff to make it better there. Well, hopefully you guys were able to learn something new with this and something that you can practice and play with, especially if you guys have After Effects. Thank you guys for being here. I really hope that you guys have learned a couple things here and you enjoyed. And see you the next time.